Yo, what is up, guys? Ethan here, back in another video, and it's been a long time, but we are back, and it's not about college football this time around. It's college basketball, as March Madness is a few days away, and I just can't wait. For a channel update, they'll probably come out within a week, but I will say this: I will be having a daily recap of all the games. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be recording a video, and probably that following morning or afternoon, expect a video of a daily recap, or that's what I'm going to try to. But today, I'm going to give you my bracket predictions, so let's hop straight into it. And I will say this: the Midwest and the South are kind of iffy. The East region is just plain out dominant. There's so many deep teams that can make runs, and they're all in one bracket, so that one's gonna be the hardest. We're gonna save it for last, but we're gonna go by round instead of region by region, because I just think overall it makes more sense. We're gonna start off Alabama. I think SEMO is going to win this game. I think Southern Eastern Missouri, it's Missouri, I don't know what I'm thinking. But Alabama is the #1 seed. I think SEMO will win, but Alabama's going to get whooped because SEMO's 3-point percentage is not really all that. Maryland versus West Virginia. And this one's a little shocking in my opinion. A lot of people are leaning Maryland, and I don't understand why. They're a very home-dominant team. West Virginia wasn't the better conference in the Big 12. And Maryland was very iffy this year when they were not at home. When they were at home, they were really good outside of that UCLA loss by 27. Geez. But I just think West Virginia right now is on a hot streak, even though they lost in the Big 12 tournament. And I think Bob Huggins overall is a more experienced head coach, so I'm going to take West Virginia in this close matchup. Next game is San Diego State versus Charleston. And I've been seeing a lot of people lean Charleston. And I think a lot of the newbies are going to be all over this pick. I'm not, though. I think San Diego State's going to handle business. And Charleston is a deep team. They score, but they've just been very weak all season long. You have that Virginia Tech win earlier in the season, but Virginia Tech was mid this season. You beat Kent State, which is good, and then you lost versus UNC. But they had a very down streak. They've been in a lot of close games, and I just think San Diego State's perimeter defense is going to lock down this Cougars offense. Give me San Diego State. Now, Virginia and Furman is a game that I had to think about, because Virginia's been awful these past few weeks, but Tony Bennett always comes ready for the tournament. They've lost a few times in the first round. We had Ohio in 2021. And then you had, of course, UMBC back in 2018. So Tony Bennett's known for losing in the first round. But I just think this Virginia team matches up very well versus Furman. And Furman's defense is not really that good. And I think guys like Keyhead Clark will be, and Bickman are going to be able to score on this Furman team. And even though I think Furman can win this game 100%, I just think Virginia has the experience, the talent, and overall matchup to just give Furman a match. And I think Virginia is going to win this game, even though I really want Furman to win this game. Creighton and NC State. NC State's coaching is just awful. I'm going to take Creighton. Creighton has looked good in the past few weeks outside of the loss in the Big East tournament. And NC State got blown out versus Clemson. And Clemson didn't even make the tournament. So it's a little iffy. I love NC State's guards with Taquavion Smith, but I have to take Creighton here. A potential upset, USBC over Baylor. I just can't do it. USBC has not had a winning record in the tournament. I don't even think they've ever won in the tournament. And Baylor's guards and LJ Cryer, Keontae George, and I'm forgetting Adam Flagler, just the best the best guards in college basketball. I have to take Baylor in this game. Missouri and Utah State is very interesting, and I have a feeling Missouri is going to be the overwhelming pick. Wow, a lot of people are leaning Utah State here. That's kind of surprising, because Utah State is my pick here. Missouri, I read this stat. They're number 1 in overall luck. I think it was on the KenPom, if I'm not mistaken. And those teams the last 4 or 5 years have lost in the first round. Kansas is surprisingly a close second. But Missouri, like, they're a little iffy. They match up very well with some teams, and they just don't overall match up great versus others. And I think Utah State has a really good matchup. They have the big men to match up with Missouri. Missouri's all guards. But I'm confident in Utah State's 3-and-D overall scheme. Utah State's overall defense is very underrated in my opinion. I'm going to take the Aggies in an upset here. Well, I don't even know if it's an upset because people are choosing Utah State. Arizona, Princeton. If this was Yale, maybe, but Arizona should win this game pretty easily. Same thing with here. I don't care if Marcus Sasser plays or not. Houston will handle North Kentucky. Is it North Kentucky? I don't even know. NKU. You're going to get whooped by Houston. This is a very intriguing matchup. Iowa versus Auburn, the Battle of Mid in Birmingham. And it's basically if Chris Murray goes off or not. I think, well, Chris Murray is going to go off. It's going to be if Iowa is going to be able to score outside of that matchup. And I just don't think they will. I think Auburn's physicality is going to come out big in this game. Give me Auburn in this matchup. Miami and Drake. Oh boy, I love this matchup. Miami's big man got hurt. And I don't know if he's going to play in this game. Or he might not even play in a tournament. I'm not 100% sure about it. All I know is Tucker DeVries for Drake is an absolute baller. He's a dangerous shooter. And Drake has had history in the tournament. They know how to win, and I'm going to take Drake in a 5/12 or 12/5 upset. It's a classic choice. Isaiah Wong might go off in this game, but I just think Nigel Packard is just going to have a little off game, and especially with Miami's big man out potentially or playing while hurt is going to be a killer. Drake is made for these moments. I'm going to take the Bulldogs in an upset. This is another game this is a 50-50 game for me, man. Like, Kent State showed all season long they can keep it close. You beat Toledo twice. You barely lost at Houston. You barely lost at Gonzaga. Both at their true stadium. Like, I know Gonzaga has played in multiple arenas. This was in their main stadium, and they only lost by 7. Very impressive for the Golden Flashes. And you lost versus Charleston, which is also a tournament team. And Indiana is very up and down. You beat Purdue twice, but you got whooped by Kansas. And like I just said, Indiana's up and down. If you're able to lock up Trace Jackson Davis and Jalen Hood-Schifino, you can 100% beat Indiana. And I understand that Kent State is undersized in this matchup. And Trace Jackson Davis might go feasting in this game. But Sincere Carey is going to ball out, in my opinion. Indiana's perimeter defense is not all that. I think Kent State's going to get up shots. We're going to have a 12-13 matchup in the round of 32. Iowa State versus Mississippi State or Pitt. I think Pitt's going to go to this game. So I'm going to take Iowa State here. Now, I will say this. If Mississippi State wins this game, I can 100% see them going to the Sweet 16. Iowa State was an 11 seed last year, I'm pretty sure, made the Sweet 16, and that whole game, like the metrics, if Mississippi State goes in there, it's identical to their last game, Iowa State's last game when they faced LSU, and they beat LSU. I wouldn't be surprised if Mississippi State won, but I just think Pitt will win that game, and I think Iowa State matches up very well versus Pitt, so I'm going to take the Cyclones in this game. This is a potential huge upset. I've been high on Kennesaw State for a while now, but you just get a bad draw versus Xavier. Kennesaw State has depth and really good scorers, but besides the free throw shooting is awful, and you need free throw shooting in March, and you do not have a big man to pair up against Jack Nungy, my bad, for Xavier. He's a 7-foot monster, and I think he's just going to be able to feast in this game. I don't think Xavier's going to do well, personally, but I just think they just match up better versus Kennesaw State. I really want Kennesaw State to have a run this year, though. Next game. Come on, man. Penn State and A&M could both make serious runs, in my opinion. and you draw them in the first round. This is ridiculous. They're probably the best 7 and 10 seeds. And I just feel bad for Penn State because they're going to have A&M winning this game. If Penn State didn't win the Big Ten, they could have potentially been an 11 seed, and I might have taken them in a matchup. But I think Texas A&M is going to win this game. They're going to have more on their shoulder after getting blown out in the SEC championship game. Give me A&M in a fantastic game. Next is Texas versus Colgate, and I've seen a few people actually take Colgate. It's like the last 2 years there's been a 15-2. I don't see it. Texas is coming off red hot after winning the Big 12, the best conference in college basketball. I'm going to have Texas winning that game. Off to the West now. Let me just do that. Kansas Howard. I think this is the best chance for a 16 seed to upset a 1 in my opinion. I really like Howard, but Kansas just has too much depth. Give me the Jayhawks. Arkansas, Illinois. Man, this is going to be a great game. But I just think Arkansas's talent is just going to be too much. Illinois is just not going to be able to score in the paint. Arkansas's blocks block per game is insane. I'm going to take Arkansas. They have the more talent, and I think they just match up a little bit better than Illinois. St. Mary's and VCU. Man, oh man. This is a really good game. I'm going to take St. Mary's. I think Aiden Mahaney is just that guy. St. Mary's just is always a great defensive team under Randy Bennett's squad. And I think just Aiden Mahaney is going to have a field day versus VCU. I understand guys like Adrian Ace Baldwin is going to be able to match up with Mahaney very well, but St. Mary's has the experience in the tournament. The defense is much better. I'm going to take the Gales in this game. Next game is UConn versus Iona, and I'm very tempted to take Iona in this game. I might have to come back to this. Iona is very similar to They're very good defensively. I will say that they're one of the best defensive squads in the nation. Rick Pitino's overall one of the best coaches in the tournament. Walter Clayton. Man, this is tough. Sanogo's a really good center. UConn can make a deep run. I've seen many people include them in their Final Four. But do I have Iona knocking them off? Yes, I do. I'm going to take the upset. Give me the Gales. I think Rick Pitino is going to outcoach Bob Hurley in this one. Well, it's not Bob Hurley. Dan Hurley. It's Dan Hurley, right? I feel stupid right now. It is Dan Hurley. Bobby Hurley's for ASU. My bad, y'all. But Dan Hurley's going to get outcoached. He's always whining. He's going to be whining after this game, after Rick Pitino beats him in this classic game. If you take UConn, I'm not going to be mad, as UConn can definitely make a run. I just think Iona is going to pull off an upset. You have to have some upsets eventually. This is going to be one of them. Now, this game is going to be very underrated. I think Arizona State's going to win this game, but if Nevada beats Arizona State, I'm going to 100% take Nevada in this game. I think Nevada plays and matches up very well versus TCU, and Nevada's overall very underrated. They were shocked. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder, so if they get out of this play-in, I might take Nevada over TCU. But Bobby Hurley's just not a really good head coach. TCU's a better squad, and I think Arizona State has more talent than Nevada, so they will win that play-in game. So I'm going to take the Horned Frogs. And also, if TCU does play Nevada, it's not going to be 100% all-in for Nevada for me. It's going to be a potential upset, obviously. Mike Miles is going to cook either way. Give me the Horned Frogs. I'm not going to waste your time. Gonzaga is going to win this game. Grand Canyon is by far the worst 14 seed in my opinion. They should 100% been a 15. Colgate should have been a 14 in my opinion. And Gonzaga is just going to cook in this matchup. Northwestern versus Boise State. This is very intriguing. Boise State does not have Max Rice, I'm pretty sure. And that's going to be huge. Or if he does play, he's going to be hurt. He does have a back injury. And because of that, I think Northwestern is going to win this game. Boo Buie is just really a good player, and I'm not sure if he's going to get stopped by this Broncos offense. The defense, my bad. UCLA, UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville is a really good 15 seed, but UCLA just matches up way too well. Drew Pember, really good player. I forget where he transferred from. I think it was Tennessee. But UCLA is going to win that game. Purdue, you're going to win this game. Nobody's going to stop Zach Edey on Texas Southern or FDU. Memphis versus Florida Atlantic. This is the region where it gets super tough for me, man. Man, I really like FAU, but they don't have the wins. You beat Northwestern, North Texas twice. UAB, they won twice out of 3. I have to take Memphis, man. I have to. They have the experience versus the bigger teams. They're going to be more ready. They won a game last year, March Madness. I have to take Memphis here. Also, even though FAU's guard depth is really good, I don't see anybody on that Owls team really stopping Kendrick Davis. Duke versus Oral Roberts. Oh, boy. I'm not going to lie. I had graphics all prepared for this, and I changed it because I had Duke in the Final Four, and I don't like Duke in the Final Four anymore. All the red hot teams don't seem to go far all the time, or most of the time. Everyone's going to have Texas, Duke, potentially Kentucky. Who else is red hot right now? Xavier's kind of red hot, even though they just got whooped. Penn State's hot. That's a sneaky team. Like, I just don't see teams like that going far. But Oral Roberts, man, I really don't know. I'm going to go back to this. I ain't going to lie. Tennessee, Louisiana. I'm going to take Tennessee. This is going to be a close game. You have Jordan Brown for Louisiana. That's his name, right? Jordan Brown. Doesn't even say. He's just one of the best players in the non-Power 6. He should be in a better team or a better spot right now. Louisiana is one of the best rebounding teams in all college basketball, but they just don't attempt threes, and you're going to need to do that versus Tennessee, as they really have a good defense, even without Zakai Ziegler. I'm going to have the Vols going on, even though this is going to be a very close game. Man, I have to go back to this game, man. Oh, man. Connor Vanover gets blocks. He's going to match up very well versus Filipowski and Lively. Duke has too much talent, man. I have to take Duke here. I have to take Duke. I really want Oral here because the winner of this game is going to beat Tennessee or Louisiana, and then they can most certainly defeat whoever they play in the Sweet 16. And I'm not going to say they are, but they could make the Final Four, man. They're really that good. It just sucks with this draw, man. Kentucky and Providence. Oscar Tshiebwe does not play well versus big guys, and that's what I'm going to base Kentucky off of. And to be honest, does Providence have those big men? Bryce Hopkins might be able to stop them. And I think overall, I'm going to take Providence here in 11/6. I had all the other 6s winning. Yes, I did. I'm going to have Providence in this game. Bryce Hopkins gets revenge. Ed Cooley advances after that little disappointing game or last tournament. I'm going to have Providence in an upset here. Kansas versus Montana State. Montana State is also a very bad 14 seed. Personally, I would have USC Asheville and Colgate as 14s instead of Grand Canyon and Montana State, but that's me. Really good matchup for Kansas State. Either way, I'm going to take the Wildcats. Michigan State versus USC. I've seen a lot of people choose. Oh, dang. Based on what I've seen, it's a lot more lopsided for Michigan State. But I just think Michigan State's three-pointing and Tom Izzo and March is something else. I'm going to take a Michigan State in this game. And Marquette versus Vermont, I'm going to take Marquette. Vermont's a little iffy this year. Other years potentially, but not this year is not that year. I'm going to just try to pick it up a little bit more. Alabama versus West Virginia. Alabama matches up a lot better than West Virginia, and Bob Huggins is washed, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stop this newer, modern offense that the Crimson Tide have. I think San Diego State just can hit more shots than Virginia. So I'm going to have the Aztecs going to the Sweet 16. Creighton Baylor. I don't see Baylor going far this year. They're very inconsistent. Give me Creighton. And this is going to be a shocker. I'm going to have Utah State to the Sweet 16. I really like Utah State's size. That's probably one of the most underrated parts of this Utah State team. They can put up shots at the 3, and Arizona State's perimeter defense is a little iffy because those guards are not really what you really expect from a 2 seed. I really like this upset here, potentially. Give me the Aztecs, not the Aztecs, the Aggies to the Sweet 16. So 2 Mountain West teams in the Sweet 16. What a huge thing for this conference. Houston versus Auburn. I think a lot of people would choose Houston in a heartbeat, but personally I think Auburn's going to make this a closer game than people anticipate. But Houston has not only the better coaching, but they have more depth and talent. Give me Houston in this matchup. Drake and Kent State, man. This is another 50-50 game. Man, I'm gonna take Drake. I'm gonna take Drake. They have more experience. The coach is overall better in DeVries, and they have the best player in Tucker DeVries. Give me Drake to the Sweet 16. So we have 2 little surprises and 2 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. Drake versus Xavier. Iowa State versus Xavier. I'm gonna take Iowa State in this game. Xavier, I don't think is going to go far this year. They can score, but their defense is atrocious. And Iowa State really has a good defense. They have a big man in Osen Asani. I definitely butchered his name, and I really feel bad because he's a local guy. But I think Iowa State matches well versus Xavier. And even though they might not put up the points, I think this Cyclones team is going to lock down this Xavier team. Give me the Cyclones. A&M versus Texas, man. I'm gonna take A&M. I've been thinking about this for the last over 24 hours, and I still can't decide, man. Texas is red hot, but like I said with Duke earlier in the video, these red hot teams don't last very long in March Madness, and it's just a gut feeling for me. I think Wade Taylor is going to lead this team. The Aggies get to the free throw line, and I think they're going to draw Texas into foul trouble. And even though Texas has some good depth, I'm going to go with the upset here. Give me A&M. And you have the number 1 seed, but then you have 12, 6, and 7. Wow. Kansas versus Arkansas, man. This is a potential a 1 seed going out. I'm going to take Kansas, though. Arkansas has the defense and the overall talent to compete with this Kansas team, but Kansas has the experience. St. Mary's is going to beat Iona. I'm more confident in Randy Bennett. I really think Aiden Mahaney's that guy. Logan Johnson is going to lock down, and I really like this matchup. Give me St. Mary's. TCU and Gonzaga. This is really intriguing for me personally. I really like Gonzaga. I really like TCU. TCU, I think, is just going to be like the Arizona game last year. TCU is going to make it shockingly close. They're going to lose. Gonzaga pulls away and wins this game. Northwestern versus UCLA. Northwestern's been inconsistent. I'm going to go with UCLA. UCLA has back-to-back easy games. So this Gonzaga rematch from the Final Four a few years ago is going to be a great game to truly see how UCLA is this year. Purdue, Memphis. I can't see. I don't have ESPN Plus, but man, oh man, this is going to be an amazing game. I'm taking Memphis. I have to take Memphis. I'm not confident in Purdue. Purdue can definitely go far this year, but Memphis is really good right now. I'm going to take them. Duke is going to beat Tennessee. I don't trust Tennessee to make it out of the first weekend. Providence and Kansas State. I'm going to take Marquette here. But Providence and Kansas State, man, this is going to be a really good game. Kansas State gets turnover, or they have turnovers a lot. But I just trust Kansas State more in a game like this. I'm going to go with the Wildcats. And your Sweet 16, Memphis, Duke, Kansas State, Marquette, Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas, and St. Mary's, Alabama, San Diego State, Creighton and Utah State, Houston, Drake, and Iowa State, Texas A&M. Wow. I personally was not even expecting this, but I'm just going off matchups. Now, this game, San Diego State can 100% win this game in my opinion. They're going to have the momentum, and they have one of the best perimeter defenses in all college basketball. And Alabama is mainly known for shooting threes. If you are able to force Alabama to miss three-pointers, do not be surprised if San Diego State wins this game. But I think Alabama not only has the better coaching, but even if San Diego State does stop the threes, I think they will be able to find ways to create shots or draw fouls. Alabama's going to win the game, but I think this game is going to be sneakily good. But Tide are going to win this game. Creighton and Utah State. I thought about Utah State versus Arizona, but I really didn't think about it versus Creighton. They have a big man in Kalkbrenner, but I think Creighton's overall starting lineup is way too good. First off, I'm going to take Creighton to beat Utah State. But Utah State, if Utah State goes to the Elite Eight, I wouldn't be surprised. I ain't going to lie. But give me Creighton. Houston and Duke. Does Drake's Cinderella run keep on happening? I need to read this for Drake. I'm going to take Houston. I think Marcus Sasser is just going to be unstoppable. I understand he's hurt, but I don't think it's as bad as people are saying it is. And I'm going to take Texas A&M in this game. I just think Iowa State is not made to go on like an Elite Eight or Final Four run. And Texas A&M has the not better coach. I would say Buzz Williams and TJ are very similar on a coaching scale, but I just really love this Aggies team, man. Texas A&M to the Elite Eight. Kansas and St. Mary's. I'm going to take Kansas. I don't know how far St. Mary's can truly go in a tournament. And Kansas has more experience. And I'm going to take Kansas. I'm going to take UCLA. Gonzaga's defense is very iffy. And I understand Drew Timme, he could dominate in this game because Bono could be hurt. Now I'm thinking about it. I understand that Bono might be... Amari Bailey's going to go off this tournament. And I don't think Gonzaga is going to be able to stop Amari Bailey. It's not going to be Jaime Jaquez. It's not going to be Tiger Campbell. It's going to be Amari Bailey. He's going to have that Johnny Juzang type vibe. He's going to fill in for Jalen Clark. Give me UCLA in this game. This game is going to be amazing, though. Memphis and Duke. Two hot teams. I don't see them going far. I don't. Their fast break points. I'm going to take a Memphis. I don't trust Duke's three-point shooting to go far in this tournament. Or Roberts, you have the size matchup. And Tennessee's hurt. And they're not really good in March. But versus a good Memphis team that not only has size, but are really one of the best guards in the country in Kendrick Davis, I'm going to take Memphis right here. And Kansas State and Marquette. I think a lot of people are going to have Marquette going far. I just don't think they're going to go far. I'm going to take Kansas State. I just really love this duo for Kansas State, man. In Marquise Nowell and Keontae Johnson. I'm going to take Kansas State here. So the Elite Eight. Alabama, Creighton, Houston, Texas A&M, Kansas and UCLA, and Memphis and Kansas State. I'm going to have Alabama over Creighton. I just can't choose Creighton to go to the Final Four. I really can't. Houston and Texas A&M. I'm taking A&M to the Final Four, baby. I understand the Final Fours in Houston, but I love Houston too, man. I'm going A&M to the Final Four. This is going to be my shocker. It's going to be very reminiscent of South Carolina going to the Final Four back in 2017. Another SEC team. Two SEC teams in the Final Four. Next, Kansas and UCLA. I'm going UCLA. I don't see Kansas repeating. And they're definitely a lot more vulnerable now. Especially after that Texas loss. And I think UCLA is just, I don't know, man. This is a really good game. I have to go UCLA. I'm a lot more I just love this UCLA squad. And Memphis and Kansas State, I'm going to take Kansas State here. The Tigers run is going to stop. In the Final Four, number 1 Alabama versus number 3 Kansas State, and number 7 Texas A&M versus number 2 UCLA. I think it's going to be kind of obvious. UCLA versus Alabama. I think Alabama matches up very well versus this Kansas State squad. And this is a really good matchup. I'll say like A&M is kind of similar to Maryland. You whooped Maryland earlier in the year. I'm going to take UCLA. And Alabama versus UCLA. I'm going to take UCLA to win it all. I'm taking UCLA to win it all, man. Final score, this is going to be a little bit more high scoring. I'm going to go 72. I have UCLA winning it all, 72-67. And this is the bracket. We have a few runs. We have Utah State to the Sweet 16, Drake to the Sweet 16, Texas A&M to the Final Four, Iona defeating UConn. What else? St. Mary's technically could be a run. Memphis to the Elite Eight. Providence beating Kentucky. I have my upsets here, and I'm confident in this bracket. I have UCLA winning the national championship. Let's click submit to save it. And that is it for my bracket. Now, I will say there could be a few adjustments depending on the playing game or if my overall perspective does a 180. But as of right now, I have UCLA defeating Alabama in the national championship. Look out for March Madness recaps every day, and maybe a potential channel update because this is mainly a college football channel. Like, share, subscribe, y'all, and I'm happy to be back. See you guys soon. Have a good day.